I'll give it a second for people to jump on. This is our gentle farewell 2020 yoga flow. This is Julie Tokarowski. I haven't been able to teach recently with Hand Start Center, so this will be a nice refresh. For our class, if you would like, you're welcome to grab 2 blocks, some water if you have it, if it's near you, and you're welcome to just kind of sit and start to drop into your body. So as we're sitting here, I have a little fountain behind me. Start to kind of think about your intention for class. This can look like anything, but remember that we're coming to the close of 2020, the year that felt like it would never end. And maybe pausing to think about that. Maybe pausing to remind yourself that we have made it this far. For me, I'm kind of just feeling how my body feels. Starting to warm up. Feel like I can be ready for a flow. Whatever your body is asking for right now, please feel free to take that. As a nice little reminder, this is through Hands to Heart Center, my favorite nonprofit out of Boston, with the goal of sharing the healing practice of yoga with those affected by trauma, addiction, and poverty. This is our project with the Boston Public Library, something a little extra. I just thought it would be nice to kind of send this year on its way and create some kind of termination in our lives. As far as intentions go, I invite you to drop into your body and take some time to set your intention for today's practice. If nothing is coming to your mind, you are more than welcome to steal my intention of finding harmony and letting things pass. So again, I'll say that one more time. My intention is finding harmony in letting things pass. Just a reminder, Hatha Yoga is the sun and moon yoga, a little different than a flow. We'll do a little bit of flow tonight, just to kind of warm up our bodies and kind of drop into how we're feeling, what we're feeling internally when the external world is a little chaotic. Let's come to our pranayama. I'm gonna move my blocks. I'm just gonna kind of prop up just my knees right here, kind of on the inner thigh, just so it feels comfortable, so that I kind of take the weight off of my heels even, and maybe my ankles, so that it doesn't feel as squished. It doesn't feel as like much resistance. Here you are. You can have your palms face up on your thighs. You can have your palms extended with maybe your elbow resting on your thighs. It's whatever's comfortable for you. As always, feel free to adjust the measurement of your blocks if you have any. They can be on the lowest measurement, the tallest measurement. It is up to you. And start to create a little bit of a bend in your elbows. So imagine you're pulling something in close to your body. So you have a little bit of a bend here. It's kind of like working out, right? So maybe just extend them a little bit. There's your nice slight bend. You can flip your palms onto the inner thigh. We've done Bastrika before. It is one of my favorites, but we'll start with Ujjayi, our breath of fire. So let's start. Let's find maybe a mudra. Maybe you bring your thumb and your pointer finger together and you extend the rest of your fingers all the way out. Whatever is comfortable. You're more than welcome to press down on your knees if you like that feeling of movement through your shoulders. Wherever you are, I invite you to bring your eyes to a close, seal your lips, and breathe through your nose. Just a couple rounds like this. This is our breath of fire. We're inhaling through the nose. This time, exhale out your mouth. This is a great way to kind of warm up our body. You notice I'm kind of rocking forward a little bit to warm up my spine and make it feel like I'm actually engaging my body. I'm not just sitting. I'm not just watching. I'm not observing. I am very much taking part in my practice. Maybe you take a couple more rounds. Again, this is your breath of fire. So we inhale through the nose to fill up. And we exhale through the mouth on a big If that feels good, you're welcome to move on with me. Slowing our mind down, right? We've had a full day, whatever our day may have looked like. We got through the week. I invite you to close your eyes and start to settle. As you are ready and as your body allows, you can make your way to standing with a gentle bend in the knees. Something I always do when I start my practice is just a little bit of a sun salutation. This is just half of a sun salutation. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. I'm going to inhale, my arms all the way overhead. Exhale, I'll drop them through center. I happen to go through prayer. You might not. It's whatever you choose. As I exhale, I'm going to begin to fold over halfway. My hands will find my knees. I'll find myself with a flat spine. If this isn't happening for you, you're more than welcome to bend your knees and find it a little bit easier. Exhale all the way down, dropping your palms to the mat. Maybe your fingertips just brush the mat. Maybe alternatively, you keep your fingertips on your thighs or shins. Inhale up halfway. If you're already there, maybe you take it to your thighs. Exhale and breathe. Inhale, arms up wide overhead. And down through the middle again. Taking this pace at your own level and as your body is asking you to. Remembering that my practice and your practice can look vaguely and majorly different. It is completely up to what you are trying to do. Inhale, arms out wide and overhead. Exhale, here we go, folding over halfway. Maybe your hands come to your thighs. Maybe your hands come to your shins, wherever you are. Sitting with it, breathing through it, breathing into it. Exhale and fold over completely. Maybe this time you bend your knees a lot. Maybe this time you really feel yourself releasing your chest onto your thighs. Maybe you start to tuck your head. Inhale back up halfway, finding shins or thighs, whichever is comfortable. And as always, available blocks, use them as you need to. If that takes some of the pressure off your spine and it feels better, feel free to use them. Inhale up all the way, arms out wide. Exhale down through center. We'll do it 2 more times. Falling, maybe grabbing the blocks this time. We're jumping all the way down. So we're literally bringing our palms all the way to the mat. Inhale up halfway, lift. This time we're going to change a little bit. Exhale to fold again. Maybe round and curl this time. Find those hands on those blocks or on the mat, maybe on the floor. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hold it. Inhale, arms out wide and overhead. From here, we'll jump into our Surya Namaskar. So we've done about half of it, and this is going to be the full expression of the sequence. You are welcome to have your blocks near you if you feel that you will be using them. I will be needing them myself. So here we go. Again, I'm going to turn to the side. Top of my mat, I'm looking right at it. Just want to make sure everyone can see. So I'm looking at my mat, inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale, I begin to fold over halfway. We've done this before. We've been here before. Shifting your weight into your toes rather than just your heels. Exhale completely. Let everything go. Here's where you can take a little bit of modification and decide what feels good on your body. For me, I'm going to inhale. And exhale, I'm going to send my left foot behind me. Coming into kind of a low lunge here. Tilt the camera down a little. Okay. So here's my low lunge. My back knee is touching the ground. Exhale, press the mat away. This is your little half split. It's a really nice stretch for that hamstring. Really nice on your ankles as well. Inhale, come back forward. Exhale, step back through downward facing dog. We've been here before. Curl your back toes. Begin to lift a little bit. Step back with your right toes. There you go. There is your downward facing dog in whatever expression you would like. Inhale to look forward. Drop your knees to the mat. Exhale and holds. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, we've been here before too. Drop your chest to the mat as you would like. I'm going to come all the way down into my stomach. And on my inhale, I'm just going to do a little baby cobra. On my next inhale, pressing myself up. Exhale, I'm going to push the mat away. Maybe I come through tabletop, or maybe I come through downward facing dog. The choice is yours. Wherever you are, hold and breathe. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, send your left foot forward, low lunge. Exhale, pull it back, half split. Inhale, back to low lunge. Curling your back toes, stepping forward. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Hold. Exhale. Inhale, arms out wide. Exhale, fold back over. Folding all the way over. Last time we started with our left. This time we'll start on our right. We'll send that right foot back behind us in a low lunge. Again, option to use blocks as necessary. For me, I'm just going to use my little baby blocks to frame my front foot. It takes some of the pressure off of my hip, and it makes me feel like I can more fully get into this pose. Exhale, round and curl. Nice little half split here. We already did this on this side. This isn't new. We've been here before. Inhale, come forward through low lunge. And as you will, as you find your expression of downward facing dog, send those left toes back to meet the right, curling the right toes, lifting, downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling out the legs here. That was one round. We'll do one more. Inhale, step the right toes forward, low lunge. Exhale, I'm going to step it back through downward facing dog so that we can do our nice little transition. Drop our knees to the mat, look forward. Exhale, press your chest between your palms. Inhale as you're ready. Maybe through baby cobra. Maybe you lift up through upward facing dog. Exhale, press the mat away, coming up through tabletop, and then maybe downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your right toes between your palms. Dropping that back leg. On your next inhale, you'll bring your left toes to meet the right in a forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Inhale up all the way. Sitting with it for a second. Coming back down to find your mat. quick little warm-up is what we did there. We did half of a Namaskar, which is a nice little sun salutation, and we did the full Namaskar. We did it differently, we did it with modifications. Keeping that in mind, we'll do one more breathing exercise. Again, finding your comfortable seat. I'm actually gonna ditch my socks. Thinking about how the first breath felt, and if there's anything that you will do to modify or maybe engage further in the breath that we're doing. So I've brought my palms face up, just like they were in the last one. This time I probably will take a nice mudra through my thumb and pointer finger, just like last time. And so Bastrika, this is that bellows breath. So if you think of a bellows, right, something that you use to stoke a fire, something you use to ignite and continue a fire and make it strong. Think about that within your body. So kind of as you pull open to expand, and then you press to compress. Letting that sit for a second. You'll rest your palms face up on your thighs. Slight bend in the elbows. Inhale through your nose, grow taller. Exhale to compress all of your air out of your belly through your nose. That was one. You can take it as slow or as fast as you would like. Remembering that the pace is completely up to you. I will be here cueing. You can ignore me, tune me out, mute me, whatever. I won't be offended. Inhale, fill. Exhale, flip it out through your nose. 3 more. Take a second to pause. Here we go. Inhale, fill all the way up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, flip it out to compress. 2 more rounds. See how that feels. If you feel like you're creating a little bit of fire, that's good. That's what we're looking for. Inhale, here we go. Fill up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, flip it. Exhale through your nose. Last one, make it your strongest one yet. Bellows, stoking a fire, breath of fire, bellows breath. You can do this. Inhale. Exhale, flip it. Take a second to kind of let your heart rate lower so that we can realize what we're doing. Maybe finding some still and some calm within our practice. Maybe just taking a second to check in, remembering that intention of finding harmony and letting go. Maybe you bring that to the forefront of your mind's eye. And you start to kind of breathe into that intention, giving life to your intention. If it feels good, maybe you meet me standing up. Or come to me in a chair pose. So that's a real intense one. So here we go, sitting down in chair pose. Exhale, bring those arms behind you. Chair with airplane arms. Exhale, forward fold. Let it all go. Maybe you grab your blocks here. Keep them near you if you'd like. Inhale, hold. Exhale, step back through your high plank, maybe your tabletop, whichever feels good for you. I'm going to go through high plank for this round. Inhale, look forward, shift forward. Exhale, lower, however you'd like. If it feels good, maybe you bring your knees to the mat and you think, oh, I'm in tabletop. And then you slowly come down like we did in our warm-up. Inhale through upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Here's where it becomes a little different. Inhale, lift your right leg high. 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it through between your palms. Exhale. Inhale, spin open. warrior two. I'm just gonna send the camera back a little bit so you can actually see me. Here we are in warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel those arms all the way down to frame that foot with your palms. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, maybe rising slowly, one vertebra at a time. Exhale. Again, chair pose. Chair with airplane arms. Here we go, we've been here before. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, meet me in whatever version of plank you would like. Here's where we start to flow. Inhale, look forward, shift forward. Exhale, release to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, press the mat away, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale. Inhale, step it through between your palms. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, spin open. Same thing. Warrior two on the left side. Exhale, reverse warrior. Spin it away. Frame that front foot again. Exhale, bring those left toes to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Walk it out here for a second. That was one round. We'll do one more. Keeping in mind that it will get a little bit quick, so I offer you the time to go at your own pace, go with what feels good, and if you get confused, totally fine. Whatever feels good for your body is what you should be throwing in there. Keeping that in mind, remember, blocks, always. I almost never do yoga without blocks. Now that I have a cute little travel pair, I like them even more. Keeping that in mind, we'll do one more round. So as you go through, think about that intention. Think about really finding harmony in letting go. Think about how that can manifest in 2021. Great. Inhale, come to stand. Exhale, chair pose. Start to feel your thighs really light up. Exhale, chair with airplane arms. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Palms come to the mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, press back through your plank or any form you would like. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, release to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, flipping over your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Same thing, we've been here. Inhale, spin open, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior, reaching over with that right arm. Inhale, spin it all the way, frame the front foot. Exhale, step the left toes back, right toes to meet the left. Inhale, look forward, walk, step, or jump. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, chair with airplane arms. Exhale, forward fold. Exhale, find whichever version of plank you would like. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, press the mat away, round and curl through the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, step it through your palms. Inhale, spin open. We've been here before. Warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reach that left arm over your head. Exhale, spin it away. Frame that foot. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step that foot back to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Woo. Come to meet me on your mat in a seated position. So we found the fire. We felt it through our body. So let's kind of do the opposite now. Let's find a cooling breath. Something that I did all over the summer, all across the summer when I taught, is this cooling breath. Chances are, if you've been in my class before, you've done it with me. If not, it's very straightforward and it's very hard to do incorrectly. So if it feels good, maybe starting to, let me just tilt this down. Starting to come back to that comfortable seated position. Maybe your palms, just kind of rub the top of your thighs, giving yourself a little bit of love there for the work that we put in the past 26 minutes. Giving yourself a nod and saying, I believe in you, good work. So Shitali, it's our cooling breath. Imagine like sucking in through a straw and then exhaling through your nose. That's it. We can do 5 rounds together and then we'll sit with it for a moment. Here we go. Inhale, imagine you're sucking in through a straw. If you can curl through your tongue, that works perfectly well as well. I cannot curl my tongue, so I won't be doing that. I'll just be doing like inhaling through a straw. Here we go. Inhale. Now that I'm at the top of my exhale, I will exhale through my nose. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, sucking in through a straw. Flip to your exhale, and this will come through your nose. Same thing, try it again. When you are ready, find the inhale, suck in through a straw. Maybe you bring your blocks back a little bit to prop yourself up. Maybe you decide that putting your hands on your knees isn't serving you. Inhale, suck in through a straw. Exhale, flip it through your nose. Sit with it for a moment. We're on 3 rounds. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale, suck in through a straw. Exhale, flip it through your nose. Last one, at your own pace or with me, whatever feels best. Inhale, sucking in through a straw. That was through my nose, never mind. Try it again. Inhale, like sucking in through a straw. Flip it, exhale through your nose. Now sitting with this for a second, notice how all that heat in our body is literally just, whoosh, we're fine now. We're really kind of cooled off. Take note of that. Think about how it feels in the body. Coming back to our intention, my intention, if you will, of finding harmony and letting go. How does that see itself in your life? How does that work for you? If it feels good, maybe you adjust your seated position. For me, I like to have my left heel right tucked in, and then my right leg, same thing, bent my knee, tucked it right in front of my left. Gives me a little bit more space. Maybe you inhale and twist over to the right. Looking over to the right, Start to notice what your eyes have landed on. I'm inviting a little bit of distraction here. Start to notice the sights, sounds maybe. There's a certain smell, touch, and a taste. Notice what these things are bringing to the environment you are in. Exhale, come back through center. Same thing, find your inhale, this time over to the left. Inhale, cross yourself over to the left. Same thing. Taking note of what is in front of you and what is around you. Noticing what comes to the forefront of your brain and what is adding to your experience. Exhale, unwind, and come to a butterfly pose. One of my favorites because it always just feels so good. It's really nice on your body. If this doesn't feel nice to your body, you're more than welcome to use blocks. Something I love to use when doing this pose is a nice block on the tallest measurement for these bad boys. It's a little bit shorter, but that's fine. To use it to prop up my knees. So there's not as much of a counterweight. It feels a little bit better. I'm going to inhale and lengthen through my spine so that I feel tall and strong, maybe balanced, any other adjective that comes to mind when you think of describing yourself. Inhale here, I'm going to do it again. Lengthen up through my spine. Exhale, I let it go. I don't really curl in, but I kind of sit with it. Maybe 2 more rounds of this. Inhale, lift, open up those shoulders. Your shoulders shouldn't look like this. If they ever look like this, it's probably not feeling super great in your body. We want to roll those ears, roll the shoulders away from the ears. You should feel that length. Like if you roll your head, you're not going to immediately land on your shoulder. It's a great way to tell if you're a little bit too crunched. Inhaling up and extending. Exhaling to let go. In my next moment, we're going to do a little bit of a cat-cow, but we're going to do it from this position. So same kind of thing. We talked about getting our shoulders out of our ears. So keeping that in mind, think about, okay, we want to have a little bit of mobility here. We want to find what's comfortable in our seated position. This is the butterfly position. If that's not comfortable for you, you're welcome to slightly adjust it or change it, modify as you would like. For instance, for me, I put my right foot slightly in front of my left. It feels a little bit easier for me. It feels like a better stance. So now that I'm here, I'm going to inhale. We'll try to use our arms in this one. This will be fun. We're going to inhale, bring our arms overhead. Exhale, curl over like you're doing a cat. Inhale, press your chest forward like that cow pose. If we were seated or if we were on all fours, we'd really be pressing our chest through our hands, right? Feeling very much pressed away from the earth. Exhale, round and curl. Maybe you send your arms out wide in front of you. Maybe you tuck your chin. Maybe it's easier if you actually kind of bring your arms out wide and then crunch in. Inhaling to open up that space around you, maybe trying to press and feel that kind of cow movement without pressing your knees. So completely leaving that pressing feeling away from your body. So instead, maybe bringing your arms out wide like this and feeling that openness in that collarbone area. Exhale to round and curl. Maybe you imagine like you're holding a really big basket. Inhale, cat pose. We've been here before, cow pose, excuse me. You should feel your shoulder blades really getting that mobility, right? It's really kind of working an area we might not have worked over the course of the day, doing whatever it is we do, starting to feel like we're kind of starting to balance things out. Last few breaths here. Notice what your body is asking for. My body would like me to switch into a butterfly with one leg extended. I'm going to start on my right. Extending that right leg all the way out. I'm flexing my toes up towards the ceiling. And if it feels good for my body, I'm going to reach over with my right hand and grab for my toes. Maybe even grab for the ball of my foot. If you're ready, you can sit here with me. If it feels good, I invite you to skip it. Noticing that your body is very much your vessel, and something that feels good for me is probably not the same thing that feels good for someone else. Honoring our body and honoring the way that they hold very much our journey through this life. And from where I am, I'm just kind of pressing my fingertips into the ball of my foot. I'm kind of thinking about each point of contact for each of the 5 fingers. If that feels good, I invite you to keep thinking that way and keep coming to the same headspace. Maybe inhale to lift up, straighten up, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, swap out the legs. This time we'll be switching to the left. Left will come out long to the diagonal. So if we're on the corner of our mat here, we're quite literally going to be sending that leg right through the corner, dissecting it completely. Same thing, always welcome to use these sensory points in your hands. Something we like to say in yoga is frog fingering. That's when you see someone who looks kind of like this on a flat surface. You never want to be death gripping. If you're death gripping, it's not comfortable, it's not serving you. Keeping that in mind, exhale and reach that left arm for the left ball of the foot. Sit with it for a moment. Notice where your shoulders gravitate towards. I continue inhaling to lengthen through my spine. And then I exhale to kind of round and curl over a little bit. If that feels good, I invite you to join me. As you're ready, if it feels not so good, you're welcome to skip it. Exhale, switch that leg out through the middle, maybe taking a nice little circle of around the body, just kind of wringing out everything we just did. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what we're doing, and we'll switch to a seated forward fold. A really great little switch up of what we're doing, just to kind of remind ourselves that yes, we did the forward fold, and yes, it is very much stable and very healthy for us. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to use my blocks on this one. So I'm going to put a block on either side of me, and I'm going to notice where my hands reach to. For instance, I'm going to inhale, really lengthen up my spine. And as I exhale, I'm going to reach for my toes. If it feels like I'm overextending, or it feels like you're kind of crunching in and bringing your ears to your shoulders, I invite you to stop and bring your hands about 3 inches back. You might find a block, you might not. It's up to you if you even want to use the blocks. Find the position of comfort that also brings you a position of strength. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, same thing, reaching forward for the toes. Notice that crunchy, really uncomfortable, this is hurting kind of spot. This isn't doing much for my body. And bring the palms back about 3 inches. Sitting with that. Noticing how different that feels. Maybe even a little bit of an invitation here if you'd like, grabbing each block and bringing it back to your hip bone area. Inhale to kind of press and really feel those shoulders kind of engage. Feel that nice open kind of cow posture we've been doing. You even feel like you could lift your seat off of the mat. This is how supported you should feel. You want to feel like you're literally sitting against a wall. You're straight up and down. Feels really good on your spine. Same thing, using blocks as you prefer. I'm gonna bring them back to my shin. I'm gonna inhale up tall. Exhale to curl over and grab my toes. Noticing where it's crunchy, maybe pulling back a little bit on my spine, bringing my palms 3 inches back from my blocks or whichever spot is comfortable. I'll turn back to face you. And we're working our way towards, of course, our nice long Shavasana. I have a 13-minute Shavasana planned for us. I was going to do 21 minutes, but that seemed a bit excessive. Let's do a little bit of rock the baby. Let's pick up our right leg. We've bent it at the knee. We've crossed it over our body. We're holding the left foot or the right foot with our hand, a baby. So you're bringing that right foot into the crook of your left arm, that elbow crook right there. And then the same thing, your knee is going to the elbow crook of the right arm. And from here, if it feels good, you can kind of rock yourself side to side and feel that really nice stretch across your midline. Maybe just moving side to side is even really nice for me. If this feels good on your body, you're welcome to continue. If not, you're welcome to modify as necessary. For example, if I bring my foot to my hand, then I can kind of reach underneath my leg here and kind of hold it differently so that I'm not as crunched in on myself as I was in the other posture. You're still getting the benefit. You're still being able to bring that foot. Maybe you bring your foot out front and then you cross it over again. Whatever feels good for you. Remembering that this is your practice. Maybe exhale to switch it out and grab for the other leg. Same thing, you're welcome to put that left foot in the crook of your right arm and left knee can come into the crook of the left arm. That feels good. So to pull the leg across the midline in a kind of counteracting, counterposing way. Always the option to modify, personalize as necessary. Noticing what feels good in our body, and noticing if our body is like, wow, I really would like to do it this way. And then indulging yourself for these moments. Exhaling, feet back down to my kind of butterfly position. And I'm going to go up through dog just to kind of stretch out my hamstrings. And from here, I'm going to lift my right leg all the way up in a 3-legged dog. Exhale to send it through my palms and come to a pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is wonderful to kind of slow down the end of the practice, kind of get us to think about the rest of our body. Maybe you decide that you would like to use a block to press your forearms on top of. Personally, I'm just going to have my palms resting on the block so that I feel like I'm not really just dumping into my body. I'm not letting it go too much where it feels like, okay, this is a lot on my hips. I'm kind of pressing the blocks away so that I'm still a little bit lifted off of the mat. On the other hand, if you would like to try something different, you can ditch those blocks completely and come down onto your forearms. Noticing what feels good and what does not. Noticing what the sensation in our body is as we make these flight modifications. Remembering that no modification is good or bad. They are slightly different, and any expression of the pose is perfectly fine for your practice. Exhale, you can curl that back toe, that is your left toe. Lift up to downward facing dog, send that leg overhead, swap them out. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, sweep it through between your palms. There's a nice little pigeon pose. I apologize, you can hear my dog barking too. Remembering what modification feels best, if there is one, or maybe even noticing what doesn't feel so nice. Taking a moment here, same thing, kind of taking inventory of what our body's feeling, asking for, suggesting even, and going from there. This side doesn't feel as nice for me, so I'm gonna lift up off of my blocks a little bit and kind of take some of that weight out of my left hip. As you exhale, you can begin to come out of it. We're going to come out of it a little different. We're not going to come out of it through down facing dog. Instead, we're going to exhale and sweep the right leg around, coming to that kind of forward fold-ish shape. And exhale, begin to lower onto your back. So now that we're on our back, we'll do our nice reclined figure four, which is so lovely. So we'll inhale, extend that right leg, and go ahead and cross the right ankle on top of the left knee. You'll have a nice little figure four. You can extend that left leg underneath and reach for the thigh. Notice if this feels good. Notice if this feels not so good. Maybe you come down and you do a little modification. I'm kind of grabbing for my ankle here. I'm kind of thinking, what if I grab for my thigh? What feels different there? For me, it feels really nice to kind of bend that left knee. Noticing where your breath is here. Exhale, bring both knees into your chest. Rock side to side for a second. Inhale, this time extend your left leg. Exhale, left ankle crosses over right knee, reaching under right thigh. Same thing. Extend or bend and find what feels the best for your body. Remembering, as always, that our bodies are so different, and thanking yourself for coming to this practice tonight. Holding it for a few more breaths here. Noticing if it feels good. Remembering that this is all invitation and nothing to be forced if it doesn't feel good. Exhale, bring your knees into your chest. Maybe rolling side to side across the spine, over the spine. Exhale, completely lower to the mat. I am bringing myself up so that I can start our little bit of a meditation. For the next 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to give you some time. I think that's one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves in 2020 is time. Time to feel, time to be, time to practice, whatever. So with the next few minutes, feel free to work on whatever pose you've been working on. Maybe something that you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I really wish I'd done this today. This is your time. I very much encourage you to go to whatever spot in your practice you've been looking for. I'll start talking through our nice little meditation to kind of get us in that headspace of getting rid of 2020, but sending it away with some grace. Some poses that I can offer you are crow, bridge, or waterfall, ranging from difficult to easy and restorative. Waterfall, super easy. You can use a block under your sacrum. You'll be laying down on your spine. You're gonna literally put that block under your hips. Inhale to pull your knees into your chest. Exhale to extend and let them fall over your face. Once your legs feel weightless, you are in the peak position of the pose, which is a great way to slow your heart rate into Shavasana. From there, you also have bridge and waterfall. We just did that one. We know what it feels like. Our body likes that one. Bridge, same thing. If you'd like to kind of lift your pelvis off of the ground and then exhale to bring it back down, maybe you make it a little active and lift one foot or the other off of the mat as you've extended into bridge. Wherever you are, I'll give you the reminder that this is, again, your practice. And it doesn't have to look or feel a certain way to be correct. As I start to come back into my Shavasana, my kind of resting position, just going to put my socks back on and kind of start to warm myself back up as my body is cooling off really quickly from our practice. And just focus on my breath. We started off our practice dropping into our body. A phrase that isn't necessarily a very positive connotation. Dropping into makes it sound easy, makes it sound like you flick a switch and boom, you're there. When in reality, we know that it is a lot harder. Coming back to that intention as I bring us back to a focus. The intention to find harmony in letting go. One of the most terrifying things in the world is change, but it is one of the only constants. Keeping that in mind, noticing how we feel about that. As we walk into a whole new year, as we breathe into the start of a new decade, notice what that feels like. Maybe you would like to press one hand to your heart and one to your belly. Maybe you prefer to kind of wrap yourself in a hug and remind yourself there you're supposed to be. Wherever you are, I give you the option to listen to my voice or to completely tune me out. One of my favorite quotes comes from an author I absolutely love, R.H. Sin. He writes, "Let it hurt, and then let it go." For some reason, this seems incredibly salient to 2020. With the loss that we felt, with the effects of systemic racism and injustice in our world, with the thousands of years of generational trauma that goes along with that. Maybe with those that we've lost to a worldwide pandemic. Maybe we're sitting here mourning the loss of our routine. Maybe feeling like we said goodbye to that in 2020, and we're not sure what that'll look like in 2021. Still continuing to feel that breath of fire, or just breathing normally. Offering ourselves that peace, even if just for 60 minutes on the mat. Coming back to the intention Have you found any harmony within yourself? Is there a sense of harmony within your body tonight? Maybe is there something that can get you there in these next few minutes? Maybe you'd like to use a block as a pillow, or take a modified bridge position with a block under your sacrum. Maybe you want to take none of these options and rather come into a fetal pose, tucking your knees into your chest and extending your left or right arm to prop your head up. Remembering that you have made it this far. And the nice statistic is the fact that you have made it through 100% of days up until today. Something that shows you that yes, things are incredibly tough right now, incredibly challenging, unequivocally challenging. And that things feel heavy, but they also feel like they're going to pass. How can you notice that? How can you let that sit in your body? How can you focus and let it go? Remembering that the goal of today's practice was literally to find that peace in saying goodbye. Something that's very difficult for humans in our nature is finding that nice termination, and it doesn't always happen easily. That being said, when we create our own definition of terminating something, ending something, it can often make us feel a lot better about whatever that is. Taking a second to kind of think back to all that has happened over the course of the year. Maybe taking mental note of all of the things that made you smile this year. Maybe remembering feeling the sun on your face in August. Or maybe thinking of your pet and their unconditional love for you and the relationship that they've offered you. Maybe thinking of someone you love deeply and how dear you hold them close. Or maybe thinking of something as simple and trivial as the ability to sleep in for a few minutes, or to come to your yoga mat and find space and presence. Again, I offer you my intention. Finding harmony in letting go. Noticing if that does resonate with you after our 60 minutes together. Starting to bring some life into your fingers and toes. Maybe taking some circles with your wrists. Maybe wiggling your fingers a little bit. Maybe rocking forward and coming up to a seat. Wherever you are, remembering this is exactly where you're supposed to be. We've made it here together. With that, I would like to offer you thanks for practicing with me. And namaste. As an I see you, I am here with you, and farewell 2020. Thank you for being here with me. As always, I am on Instagram as Julie Does Yoga. Hand Start Center is one of my favorite organizations to work with. I love their intention. I love what they are standing for. So with that, thank you so much. Happy New Year.